Alrighty, hopefully that is the last gigantic truck with a trailer that goes by in front of my place. Anyway, what's going on, guys? You're watching EP TCG Central, and in today's video, guys, we got some Destined Rivals action for you. It's going to be the brand new Ethan's Typhlosion deck going head to head with the Team Rocket's Mewtwo deck, Team Rocket deck. Spite Ops is in here, so I don't really know what they're calling it yet. But I found pretty early on here that two of my Ethan's Adventure are unfortunately prized, so we're off to a little bit of a rough start. They are in the prize cards, and I think here in a second I start clicking on my prizes just to indicate, hey, those are in there. So the only two in the deck are the ones in my hand. So my opponent does have the Lily's Clefairy in the active position, just probably making it to where the Mewtwo can knock out Dragapult and other Dragon Pokemon a little easier, so that's good. Unfortunately, it's just kind of stuck up in the active spot, but all in all, these are two decks that I'm really excited about coming out of Destined Rivals. Obviously, a lot of hype is around this Mewtwo because obviously it's Mewtwo. But then the single prize Typhlosion deck is actually really, really good, and I think that Ethan's Typhlosion is probably one of the best budget decks that you can make in Pokemon right now. Not saying that every deck is super expensive because it's really not. Cards are pretty affordable right now, but all in all, dude, like I got everything that I needed for Ethan's Typhlosion pretty much after one pre-release, so that was awesome. So I already have everything for it, and I really wanted to hop on to live. Sorry, I stir up on my mouth a little bit saying that, and test this deck out. So immediately I was like, well, crap, Ethan's Adventure got two of them prized. Only two of them are sitting here in my deck. This is a little bit of an issue. However, you guys will see here in a minute that the redeemable ticket item card comes in freaking clutch. um, so right here, I go ahead and just Ultra Ball them away, just because why not? And I just take a look. I think I took a look at my deck earlier just to kind of see what all was in there. And I decided to opt for Pheasantipity here because I'm fully expecting for me to be losing a Pokemon here pretty quickly. So I figured why not? You never know what those three cards I could potentially draw would be. So we're going to go ahead and promote that Typhlosion, and we're going to be doing the Buddy Blast. And I believe it is short 20 damage if my memory serves me correctly. But the Ethan's Typhlosion does more damage for each of your Ethan's Adventure. Sorry, I'm saying Ethan a lot. Buddy Blast does more damage for each Ethan's Adventure in your discard pile. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So unfortunately, I had to play my entire hand down to where I have no cards in my hand. My opponent is sitting there with 6 cards in their hand. So that is the unfortunate side. But you know what? Hey, if my Typhlosion does go down, it's only one prize card, right? That, and I felt like I was in a pretty okay spot for the most part. Um, I was like, my opponent might need a little bit of stuff here to kind of pull off the next turn, getting that Clefairy out of the active spot, setting up the Mewtwo, or you can attack with the Spite Ops or whatever that Pokemon's name is. But then you'll be losing some energy acceleration. I was like, this kind of just seems like the best case scenario. Just bring it up and just start swinging. Let's put some pressure on the board. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool cards coming out of Destined Rivals, and it looks like I will be taking the first couple of prizes, but I actually end up top decking redeemable ticket. You can't make it up. So that means those two Ethan's Adventure are going right from my prizes into my deck, and I can go ahead and search them both out and kind of get my board set up a little bit more, thin my deck out a little bit, and increase the damage that my Typhlosion is going to be doing. And then we got that Victini down there on the bottom right corner on my bench that is going to be doing an additional 10 damage, or it just gives my fire Pokemon additional 10 damage, excuse me. So that means I might be able to hit some key numbers. I think early on I was really considering putting 2 of those in the deck, but right now we'll try it out with just the 1, see how that goes. But I'm able to finish off that Lily's Clefairy and go up a couple prizes. And so we do take a Quilava and a Technical Machine Evolution. Unfortunately, 2 cards that we cannot really utilize right now. So we're just going to be kind of seeing what my opponent can pull off. But let me know what you guys are excited about as my opponent plays Team Rocket's Giovanni. Let me know what you guys are excited for in Destined Rivals. I'm pretty sure that we're probably just going to see more or less the same decks, obviously, that we are still seeing splashed in with some different stuff. But for the most part, I'm really liking the whole entire concept of the Team Rocket's Mewtwo and then the Ethan's Typhlosion. I still think it should be gold. I just want to point that out. That instead of Ethan, it should be gold. But you know what? I'm not in charge over there. And that's just my head canon, right? That's just me talking about it. But my opponent did bring up my Pheasantipity, unfortunately, and knocked it out. So my opponent will be going down to 4 prize cards just like me. Except I have my 4th and final supporter that I need in the discard pile. That'll allow me to be able to one-shot this Mewtwo, which is fantastic. And I go ahead and just decide to take those 2 energies in a Cyndaquil. And right here, maybe should have just went ahead and played down the Cyndaquil. I think I just go for the Buddy Blast for the KO. Maybe should have played down the Cyndaquil. I don't know. I also for sure should have attached that Evolution. I think I was just really excited to one-shot the Mewtwo. But right there, definitely should have went ahead and just attached that Technical Machine Evolution. Let it get discarded so that way later on it's just not going to be a problem. Because obviously there is a supporter that my opponent can play that is a Team Rocket card. That is basically Roxanne or an unfair stamp-like card, which will give them a fresh hand, and basically I'll have nothing to work with. So that's the downside of it, but we do see a sexy gold Mewtwo coming down onto the bench as my opponent promotes that Team Rocket's Mimikyu with free retreat, which is fantastic. This was one of the promo cards in the pre-release kits, and you literally could not use this card really for anything. I mean, you could use it, but it's not going to do anything, which I thought was really funny. As the Archer comes down, my opponent gets 5. I get 3, but I draw into Pidgeot and Arven. So I'm going to be able to Arven for Rare Candy, and then probably just grab that Technical Machine Evolution that I didn't discard. And so I'll be able to get that and, you know, extend my deck out a little bit more. We got the Counter Catcher in case we do need to do that. But my opponent did attach a Bravery Charm onto that Mewtwo. So I'm going to be unable to one-shot it now. That is very unfortunate, but still I will be able to do a decent amount of damage as my opponent just continues to play all kinds of cards. We see Earthen Vessel for a Grass Energy. We see a Team Rocket Energy going down onto that Spidops, and then a Psychic Energy as well. Opponent's definitely gotta go. Wow. Got a lot of stuff going on. I think I just had a stroke there. But we see 220 knocking out my poor Typhlosion, and we cannot use Pheasantipity because my opponent knocked it out. So, there we go. We got 2 Typhlosions left. We still got Victini. I draw Pidgeotto. I would be pretty happy with that, but I did draw the Rare Candy, so I will be able to just Rare Candy straight into the Pidgeot. And had I played that Cyndaquil, I could have just used Pidgeot and grabbed the Quilava, and then, you know. But no, I didn't do that. I think I should have, because I do still have the Night Stretcher. I think I still have an Energy. So, you know, that could have been another Typhlosion potentially. So, just a little bit of a misplay on my part, I think, personally. But, you know, that's what looking back at footage and just, you know, play testing and all that's about. So, I'll go ahead and play down the Cyndaquil. And right here, I'm going to Buddy Blast for 290 damage, leaving that Mewtwo with 40 HP. The Evolution Technical Machine goes bye-bye. I ain't got to worry about that anymore. And really, I got it. I mean, I don't think I'm in any risk of losing at this point. My opponent does retreat that Mewtwo, which at that point I was like, well, I can Pidgeot for the boss's orders I still have in my deck because I saw it earlier when I was looking through my deck and searching for it. So I'll be able to take that knockout. The Spidops is charging up and getting some energy out on the board. And we see the Team Rocket's Proton. That is an interesting card to play this late in the game. But my opponent does fail it. And all in all, I think it's pretty much game, set, and match for me here. It looks like Ethan's Typhlosion is going to be taking the victory against this Team Rocket's Mewtwo. What will my opponent do? What will they do? They're going to sit there. That's what they're going to do. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so my opponent does end up actually conceding, just probably seeing that there's no way out of this one. So like I said, the Ethan's Typhlosion does take the victory. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It helps me out a lot. I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is EPTCG Central, signing out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.